Welcome to Gail's Garden Herbs and More. It's early in the morning, and I just picked all these greens. What am I going to do with them all? I'm going to clean them really well. I'm going to dry them, and I'm going to powder them. And it's like my vitamins. It's better than vitamins. It's absorbed much better into the body, and they don't know all the vitamins and minerals that we need. But when you do make your own like this from a lot of different things, then you get the ones that they don't even know you need, plus the ones they do know. And this gives me more energy than any vitamin I ever took. I've got a lot of different stuff in here. Let me take you for a quick walk and just show you where I got some of these. Okay, plantain. I picked a bunch of my plantain. It's all picked now right here, but there's still some left. Now, you don't want the stuff with the powdery mildew. Get the good fresh green stuff. It's a weed, but it's a good for you weed. Plantain can be used as a medicine, or just I use it too for the vitamins and minerals you get out of it. Can you see it growing there? Plantain has, if you look real close, there's like ribs on the back. You should have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you count them. 5 ribs that come up. There's a big fat, there's a couple of types of plantain. There's a big fat plantain, and then there's the plantain that comes up. It's a little bit thinner. This is really good green if you get a bee bite or something. It's a draws stuff out like splinters, and I could do a whole thing on it. So let's go on. We'll see some of the other stuff that I pick. Oh, notice the blackberry leaves. Young tender blackberry leaves make a great tea, but you can also grind them up and put them in your greens powder as well. When I was heading over to get another wild herb, I saw some down here. I thought, oh my goodness, I picked some arugula because that'll be good. The lettuce I'm going to save for a salad. And then right here I have some spicy oregano. I thought that would kind of spice it up a little. I didn't pick too much. You don't want too much because it is pretty spicy. But I did put some of that in it. I didn't pick any lavender. Some people like lavender. You could put lavender in it. But I didn't. So let's keep going. Okay, right around the corner here, I'm going to be moving these grapevines once we were supposed to have quit dog sitting, but we haven't yet. Those big old dogs, I can't move them out there. I'm afraid they'll tear up my pots and pull the plants out. So right next to that's my self-heal, and I picked a bunch of that. Self-heal is really good. I make tea, I put it in my green powder, I make tinctures, a good thing. Here's my lilac bush. It's growing like crazy. I'm so excited. This is what I was looking for, mallow. Mallow is really good for you. It's full of mucilage, which is really good for your insides. I picked the young tender leaves. Some of these are getting kind of tough and bug riddled, but the new young ones are really good. Look at the little purple flowers that are coming out of it. That'll make little seeds that are round. They look kind of like, some people say they look like a cheese wheel. Those are good just when I'm walking by in the summer. I pick some of those and munch on those little seeds. They're good for you too. I didn't get any of the curly dock. It's bolting up now, making into seeds, and it's getting kind of bug riddled. Your energy for the plant, it's not in the roots anymore. It had went up to the leaves, and now it's going up in to make the seeds. So you really don't have as much in the leaves, and these don't look real good. I'm probably going to just go ahead and chop them down. You can use these seeds and grind them up into like a flour, but I have so many irons in the fire, I don't need to do that too. I do have access to flour, so I won't need to do that. I'll probably clear these out for the summer, but I didn't get any of the curly dock leaves in my powder. I do have some dried curly dock leaves that I'll probably put in it that I already have dried. While I was walking, I stopped by my mint, and I thought, mint would be really good. So I put some spearmint in it. Well, in my batch, I picked a bunch of spearmint. I haven't made the powder yet, as you saw in my basket full. Okay, I picked a bunch of stuff out of here. There's some wild weed leaves in there that are edible I picked. And I picked some chives. I'm going to make two batches of greens, some with chives and onions that I'll put in my soups and stews. And the other batch, I'm going to leave the onions and chives out because I want to use that for my smoothie. I don't think onions would taste real good in a smoothie. I also picked cilantro leaves off from this. I don't really like cilantro. I like parsley, but not cilantro. But I like the seeds, which we call coriander. I love the seeds. But the cilantro is so good to take out metals out of your blood and stuff. So it's when you eat it, that's what it does. It's like a chelator almost, I guess you would call it. It's really, really good for you. So I went ahead and picked some, even though I don't like the flavor that well, but it's good for you. And mixed with all the others, it may not be too noticeable. Okay, I did pick some of my rosemary. What I did was I kind of thinned it, and I picked the thicker ones in the branches in between the bunches to kind of thin it out a little, let the air get to it more, keep the bugs out, let the sun in. So while I'm thinning, I am also picking at the same time. I also came in here and got a little bit of my holy basil and picked that down a little bit. I put some holy basil in it, and you would not believe how sweet and wonderful that smelled while I was picking it early in the morning. Oh, it's a wonderful time to pick your greens and stuff is early in the morning because they smell so good. While I'm talking to you, I'm watching a little bird with a hat landed over in my wild garden area. They're so cute. Also, across the way is my squash plant, and I picked a big squash leaf. Yes, you can eat squash leaves. They're good for you. And it seems like, I don't know. It seems like I picked a couple other things. I'm not sure. Let's go. I know something I did pick. It's not a weed. It's my spinach. I picked some of these leaves, and these are smaller. Some of them were, these are still almost, some of them were bigger than these. These things are not tough. They are big. This is my spinach. The little red powder is cayenne powder. The bugs started to eat on them, so I sprinkled them with cayenne powder and saved them. But they're very tender. I mean, extremely tender. It's really good stuff. It's mixed in with my fava beans. You can't hardly see them. I got a little bit of stevia growing down there. Of course, I didn't pick that because that's sweet. I don't want it sweet. I did pick a big onion. The onions have developed into two. I thought when I picked it, it might pull the other one out, but it didn't because I planted one and it grew two. I also picked some cauliflower leaves because those are really good for you, and it doesn't hurt your plant if you pick a couple of those here and there. I just picked the outside leaves. They were looking really good. So, yeah, I do have some more radishes over there, but they don't seem to be developing radishes real well. Okay, over here I found a dandelion, and I picked a bunch of the dandelion leaves. It's next to my garlic here that's growing. Probably something else. I just picked all kinds of stuff. Something that I did not pick was my French sorrel. So that's needs to be picked. I'm going to pick a bunch of French sorrel to go into my mixed greens. And let's see. I've got spicy oregano, so I probably don't need... Yeah, I do need some oregano, but I think I have some dried oregano already. I need to get that picked and dried. I don't know if I'll get that done today. I've got a little bit of thyme down there, but I've got some already dried. I'm going to let that grow a little more, I think. I may put some thyme in as, I don't know, just a little bit of those, not a lot. Now, there's another type of greens I make that's just herbs that I use for my spices for cooking, and it's oregano, thyme, rosemary, that kind of stuff that's just strictly some strong herbs for sprinkling over salads and soups and that kind of thing, which I also put these greens in sometimes too. But I'm going to pick my sorrel and then I'm going to get started. Okay, so we have all of these greens. I'm going to wash them in my salad spinner. Probably maybe put a little vinegar and wash them good. Make sure they're good and disinfected. Not too much, a little bit, and then rinse that really, really good. Clean it all up. I'm going to break them into two different bunches. I've got my big dehydrator. This is more than that dehydrator can hold. And I've got, as you can see, I'm been drying out in the sun on these. It's a different one. That's my calendula. I do a lot of different stuff I talk about in other videos. And this is my nasturtium leaves. This I'm going to probably make a tincture with for medicine. It's like an antibiotic. They're almost dry. I think I could dry these. Yeah, they need to be dried a little bit more. I'm going to set them out. We don't have much sun today. I hope the sun comes out pretty soon because I really need to. Don't have this dehydrator these original trays went to broke. Well, it's not broke, but it is. Part of it was broke. But I can still use the trays outside, and then I have a regular dehydrator over on the counter. So I've got a lot of work ahead of me. If you want to see a part 2 where after I've got everything washed, cleaned, and dried, let me know. We will talk about that. Really, basically, all I'm going to do is grind them up and powder them and put them in a jar and seal it with my little hand sealer that I use. It's really a brake bleeder that I use with the specialized lid thing, which seals your dried goods. You can't do it for like canning tomatoes and all that kind of stuff. You have to use a canner. But for your dried goods, it'll take the air out and seal it. But anyway, I hope you all have a great day. I hope you make your greens because it's wonderful for you. And we will catch you all later. Okay, I wanted to show you this. Now, this is actually some dried herbs that I have. It's a mixture much like the greens I'm going to make, but this is just herbs. It's a yarrow, oat straw, olive leaf, lemon balm, lemon verbena, peppermint, horsetail, stinging nettle, marshmallow leaf, a little bit of sage, blackberry leaf. It's not powdered really. I make a tea. I use this as a tea. I just kind of chopped it, but it's not really a powder. You can keep going in the blender and make it into a powder if you so choose. I like to keep it a little bit bigger, but I just wanted to share because that's basically what all my greens are going to look like too. But I also do it with the herbs. Anyway, I hope that you give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Share my video. I'm trying to get them out there and grow my channel a little. Like I keep saying, I don't want to just talk to myself. I'm trying to grow. So share my channel with others if you would, if you think it's worthy. And I sincerely hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. God bless now.